Hello, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here because I have a very special guest I'm going to introduce to you today. So, I'm going to go ahead and talk just for a minute so that you can get accustomed and you can share this. Go ahead and share to anyone who you know is in business, anyone who has a personal brand, anybody who's thinking about having a personal brand, or maybe even a side hustle. If you're somebody who is a somebody, meaning you're a person, you're breathing, then this is going to be for you because we all are a brand. Every single person is a walking, talking, breathing brand, whether or not you're making money at it. So you might as well learn how to do it well, right? You want to be authentic. That's one thing that we always talk about. So, hi, my name is Coach Renee. I am the founder of the Winner Circle community, where I help people to have a safe place to discover and be who they're created to be and do what they're designed to do. And also, I'm author of Measuring Up: How to Win in a World of Comparison. So if you're dealing with comparison, this place is for you, because who I'm going to be bringing on here in a minute, I'm just telling you what, like, she is such a load of fun, and she's somebody who does not care if she measures up to other people. So we're going to have a blast. Without further ado, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background of my friend, and I'll let her and I kind of share how we met. Let me go ahead and pull up her bio here. Here we go. This is a little bit about Jessie Vo. Jessie is a personal brand creator and confidence coach. She helps business owners unleash their power and inner badass. And she's on a mission to help freelancers and professionals stand out from the competition, gain more visibility, and attract amazing clients. She's kind of like a fairy godmother, but instead of turning a pumpkin into a carriage, she turned your personality into a brand. Okay, real quick, I got to stop for a second. If you are here and you have a personal brand, let us know down in the comments. If you are here and you don't have a personal brand, but you're breathing, let us know down in the comments. Say hello and where you're from. And if you're someone who's thinking about going into business and you're not really sure even what a personal brand is, let us know down in the comments too. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. A little bit more about Jessie, and let me know if you can relate with any of this. Jessie grew up in social housing in Belgium. She felt ugly most of her life, and yet she found a way to become a dancer and choreographer, a stylist, a model agent, and now a personal brand creator. So how did someone with that background get to a point to where she was able, with no connections, no money, and feeling like she wasn't pretty, get to fashion weeks in New York City and Milan and Paris and styling for magazines and brands and celebs? Well, guess what? We are going to bring up my friend, Jessie Vo, and we'll see if we can cue the music. Help me welcome her. All right, Jessie, what's up?
Hey! Already with Renee.
Oh, we got to have music and fun with you, Jessie. Thank you so much for coming on today. I am so looking forward to our conversation.
I am so excited. Truly, truly. One, the topic. Two, you. And three, of course, the people who are going to get something out of this. Maybe something you said, maybe something I said, maybe the combo of both. But it's like those three things make me like party.
Oh, well, you have so much to offer. And even just learning more about you through your bio, I was just inspired, realizing that, so many of us, we feel like we're different, right? We feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm not as good as somebody else. Or how could I ever say whatever you want to, like we all feel like we have this limiting aspect of ourselves. And you growing up in a space where you had all these different things against you, can you tell us a little bit more about what brought you to doing what you are doing now and how you're helping people in the way you are?
I love that question so much. And why am I saying all of that in my bio? It is because so many people forget to tell where they come from. And thus, there is a part of them that cannot inspire. And for the longest time, I swear, Renee, I didn't say I come from social housing. I didn't say I come from no connection. I didn't say I didn't have any money growing up. And there are different reasons why. One, because I didn't want to embarrass my parents.
That makes sense.
That. Secondly, because I didn't think about it. It was so normal that I didn't think that would inspire someone, or I thought it would hinder my credibility.
Hmm.
But all of that unconsciously, right?
Right.
Like now I know that, but before it was just like I hit that part unconsciously, not consciously, but unconsciously, right?
Yeah.
So that was a little part why now I'm putting it in my bio, because it's such a part of my story. And how does someone from there become that? First of all, my parents, and that's why I say, and I know you're with me on that. Your support system is so important. My dad was so open-minded. My mom, much less so. My mom is like the person like, you take no risks. You stay in the same job for your whole career, even if it's a crappy job. So that's my mom. But then on the other hand, I had my dad who was super open-minded. So I had those two things, but then still they were both supportive. Even if
Hmm.
my mom is like this, she was still supportive. So that's the first thing. And then secondly, and that's a whole other angle. But when I was 12 years old, you know, your body's changing, you are changing, everything is changing.
Yes.
A dear friend of mine, like a real friend, like friend, you know, a guy friend told me randomly, just because he felt like it and he meant it, Jessie, you are ugly. And
Oh,
it wasn't coming from bullying. It wasn't. So it was really what he believed. And that load came onto me and became my identity for real, Renee.
wow.
Yeah. From that
Wow.
day on, I felt ugly. Weird, huh?
Words are so powerful. And I understand that that was a child saying something,
Mhm.
but whether it's a child or whether it's an adult, so often we just let them flow. And that can be so harmful.
I remember where I was standing. I remember the weather. Like crazy. And that became my identity. But now, looking back at it, it's the best thing that ever happened to me, because that's actually the one thing that led to all of my careers. Because I didn't feel beautiful, I couldn't be the pretty girl. So I had to work on my talents, my
Hmm.
abilities, and my intelligence, because I had nothing else to go for. Well,
In
you
your
know,
mind.
yeah,
Hmm.
in my mind, everything in my mind, right? And therefore, I love dancing. I worked on being a good dancer. I loved clothes. So I dressed ugly, you know, and it was a defense mechanism, but
Yeah.
therefore I got creative with clothes and all of that. And then I was surrounded with people, weirdly, my energy, I think. People that supported me the way I am. Even I felt ugly. I was in the dance crew. Even I wore my glasses on stage and they had no problem with that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
It's your people, your support.
exactly. I found my support real soon. And that changed everything also. So, and that's how I started to go into my passions. And then one last thing, how did I go into fashion? I love fashion, was afraid of going into it, got pregnant. I worked for an event agency that created events, organized events, sorry. And I wasn't there 6 months yet. So I got pregnant and they fired me. And they
Oh,
could, because I was in a testing period, trial period, you know? So no worries to fire me. They fired me. I was pregnant and I was like, now what? And that's the moment where I decided to say, I'm going to go for whatever I want to go after. I want to work into fashion. I have no connections, no money, nothing, not a degree in fashion. I did communications. And I was like, well, at least let us study something then. I'm pregnant. I don't have a job. Let's go towards the thing I want to go. So I did. I studied styling for fashion and image styling.
wow.
And then I found a job in a head office, not in the store. I didn't want the store because it's too hard to move up. into the headquarters of in fashion, and therefore everything started rolling.
That's awesome. So how long has it been now that you have been teaching other people and coaching and helping
Okay.
other people develop their personal brands? Because all of this, like, and I think the amazing point you're making is that our personal brands are not just whatever we are right now. It is a culmination of every piece of our life. All the things that we thought were good, the things we thought were bad, the things that they all are coming together to
Mhm.
create who we are and our authentic self.
Yeah.
So how has that been morphed for you?
Well, it's also a fun story, if I have to say so myself. But I had a model agency. So I was a model. After being a stylist, I was a model agent. And then I opened my own modeling agency.
Wow.
And after 3 years, I was miserable, like really unhappy in the core, because my whole values is about humanity and empowerment and making people feel beautiful and confident. And I had to keep saying to my models, if you want to go to an agency in New York, in Milan, in Paris, they want you to lose weight. So I always had to say, you need to lose inches. I couldn't anymore, Renee. I just was unhappy with where I was. So I quit my modeling agency. I felt like a complete failure, but a complete failure. I went into hiding from the whole fashion industry for 2 years. I didn't connect with anyone, Renee. Anyone.
Oh, wow.
Truly, truly, truly. And then I had a regular job, an employee job. And I was like, okay, this is who I'm supposed to be. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not a business owner. I'm supposed to be an employee. Really? True.
Which nothing wrong with that if you are, but if
Yeah,
you know it's not you and you're
yeah,
lying to yourself, there's that cognitive dissonance.
exactly. And then after a year there, I was like, I'm miserable. I'm not happy. And and that's also another pivotal moment is like when I was pregnant and they fired me was a pivotal moment. And then another pivotal moment was that moment. I was like, okay, now what? What am I going to do? What? And I started thinking about all of my experiences and my career. So being a dancer, being a dance teacher, teaching teenagers how to look at themselves in the mirror, how to work in a team, how to compare themselves, because in a mirror you need to look at the other one
Right.
to be on the same page. As a stylist, styling women, styling men, making them feel good in what they're wearing. As a model agent, building that confidence for models to walk into a photo shoot and everyone looking at them because they're the center of it all, right? And they're like, so, or going to a casting for Fashion Week, like all crazy stuff. And I was like, what do all these jobs, well, careers I had have in common? I actually coached since I was 19. I've coached people to feel confident, to build their own personal brand so they can attract the clients and book clients and feel amazing and be who they are. And then it was like, light bulb.
That is
So
awesome.
that's how, and then I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I did.
That is so great. And I have to tell anyone who's watching, again, if you're watching the replay, let us know #replay. And if you have questions for Jessie, leave them in the comments. But Jessie and I met through Rachel Peterson's group, The Social Click. And oh my gosh, Rachel's amazing. Someone tag her as well. But I have to tell you that the first time that I met Jessie was on a Zoom call. And when I say meet, it's more or less I got to see her kind of like ask some questions and whatnot. And I was like, okay, this is someone who is so real, so authentic. And inside a community like this, you're allowed to come in and be raw. You're allowed to come and in fact, you're supposed to be. We should always be authentic. But there's something about being your authentic self in front of a bunch of strangers that can be a little bit uncomfortable, right? Jessie was okay being uncomfortable. And that told me right there, I'm like, this is a woman I really like. This is somebody who is just Like, I really like her vibe. I like her energy, and I just like who she is as a person. And so as I've watched her, she's on TikTok, and we'll have to put in the comments your different places to follow you and all of that as well. I enjoy her videos are a lot of fun. So you got to see. Yeah. But she's watching her videos and just seeing her personality come out. I'm like, wow, no wonder she's a personal brand coach. She has found really who she is, and she's been able to just share that in such a great way. So I would love to hear a little bit, Jessie, on what are some ways that even, and this is even asking for myself. So, hey, I'm asking for free advice, right? It's all good. We're here to share value. But for myself,
opportunities, where
yes, absolutely. And for all of those who are watching and listening now or on the replay, what are some tips? What are some things that even just to get our feet wet, to start thinking in terms of personal brand? What is a personal brand? What defines that? And how are we supposed to actually become that?
So I love that question so much because we hear personal brand everywhere, but what does it mean? Well, what does it mean for me? It's, your past and who you are now. Combine them, your experiences, your wins, your failures, where you come from, your family and your friends, your hobbies, your passions. All of that is combinable without people having to look into your privacy, because you're creating your world without bringing in the outer world. For example, my husband, if he doesn't want to be on camera, well, I'm not going to put it on camera, but I'm going to create stories where he's involved in my story, and he doesn't have to be in it, but he's in my world, so he's somewhere in my world. So it doesn't have to be like the whole thing, and that's what people are missing a lot. Don't have to bring your privacy in. You just bring in you. That's it. You as a person with all the different facets. And the steps, and that's another part of your question. How would you start? I would start with a comparison with what you do and something in your life. For example, I'm from Belgium, right? So chocolate we're the chocolate, the beer, the French fries, we're that country, right? So I could use the fact that I love chocolate. For example, oh, I'm so in love with chocolate. I can hook you up. Oh, and you know what? I can hook you up with even more confidence. When you eat that chocolate, you're going to own that chocolate, and then blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So start comparing things with your expertise and what you love in your life. That's the first thing I would do. So it makes it easy.
That is so good. Just making those connections, it's a great place to start. So, and it's so funny you say chocolate, because that's one of the things that I started with. I put in my very first bio that, like, it was, a little bit about what I do and, your VPS and all that fun stuff that we don't even have to go into today. But at the end, it was like something along the lines of Renee loves, and, I'm a person of faith and a person who, like, my audience is oftentimes people of faith. So it makes it on brand. But I say, I'm someone who loves Jesus, dark chocolate, and sunrise walks, or something like that, not necessarily in that order. So it was like throwing out chocolate. And I would have so many people say something to me about, like, oh, here, you like chocolate. And I was like, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Exactly. And sometimes it can be just, the famous question, but I love that question because I'm such a coffee person. Are you a coffee or tea person? But it's just to have fun. And why is it important for your business? Because people are going to say, oh, Jessie, we don't care. Why would people want to know that I'm a tea drinker or a coffee drinker? It's because it's something in common we all have, and they get to know what you prefer. Even it's not because you like coffee that the tea drinkers are going to be like, no, the tea drinkers are going to be, oh, Jessie, tea is so much more healthy. You should try this. Maybe you'll love it. So you know what I mean? So it's not about separating, but it's about bringing people in who you are, and therefore create connections, because business is making connections. And that is why a personal brand is so important.
That is such a great point. So when you are working with your clients, do you ask certain questions to help them kind of uncover and discover those connections? Or what are some of the ways that you work with your clients?
Well, actually, I have a framework that is called the Attract, Grow, and Shine method. So,
Ooh.
yeah. So, Attract is all about bringing people in. It's about, like the word says, attracting people and potential clients or your audience or whoever is attracted. It's like the visibility part of it. It's a whole visibility. Attract is visibility.
Yes.
And then you have the grow method that is all quote unquote marketing more. It's about your lead gen. It's about the funnels you create, your email marketing, your social media. It's around all of that because it's a part of your personal brand. So we need to take a look under the hood anyways. I'm not a social media manager. I'm not all that, but we need to take a look so we can create your personal brand. And then it's all about shine. That is infusing the confidence, what makes you different so you can shine the brightest in your niche. And so I create a whole framework, and per person, we see where we need to focus on more. Do we need to focus more on the shine for the moment? Then we're going to focus on there more. Oh, for you, we need to focus on the attract. So we're going to build a whole strategy first on the attract. They all a part of your business,
Yes.
but there are priorities within your business at the moment that I'm talking to the client. So that's how I see where the client's at and where we need to focus on. So it's really, it depends from person on per person. It's very, very much intuitive because I don't ask a lot of questions first. You tell me. It's like I'm reading a book, and that's how I start creating the connection. So you speak, not for hours, right? So you're like, oh my God, we need to speak hours with Jessie. No, it's like you speak, and then I ask questions on what you're saying. And then it's weird. It's like in movies, everything starts connecting.
You're
And
like a
then,
professional puzzle player. Like, I mean, you literally can take someone's life and you can see the things that need to be put in place in order to really help them shine, to help them the areas they need to grow so that it can shine well and also attract others. That makes sense.
exactly. Yeah. So that's how I work. So there's no basic questions. The basic question I ask my clients first is, tell me about you. That's it. And
Awesome.
from there on, it rolls.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to ask you one question, and
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we leave time, just a few minutes at the end here, guys. Actually, let's just jump to that right now because we're talking about your framework and we're talking about how you work with your clients. And I want to make sure that everybody here knows that you have something special coming up that they may actually be interested in. So would you like to talk about that 5-day special creation?
Yeah. And I'm calling it a 5-day turbo boost. Why? Because challenge is a heavy word. It looks like, oh, I have to do so much and it's going to be so hard and it's going to be blah,
Yes.
So no, I'm calling it a 5-day turbo boost because it's all about boosting you, making it simple, easy steps, actionable steps, because I'm all about taking action,
Yes.
but without making it hard and heavy. Okay. And so what is it? It's 5-day turbo boost to stand out in your market. So if you're tired of feeling invisible, if you struggle to stand out and make an impact, or if you feel like you're shouting into the void of this online digital world and no one is listening, then know, first of all, that you're not alone and that I created a 5-day turbo boost to help you avoid those feelings more and more. Like I'm always being honest. It's not a miracle, but it will help you get that boost to take more action afterwards and already knowing what to think about and what to do. So it's a free challenge designed to help you elevate your online presence, build your brand, attract more customers, and feel less overwhelmed. Rising above the noise.
Yes. Can you tell us I forgot to get that ahead of time. I apologize. What is the link that they can go to sign up for the 5-day turbo boost?
So it's coach.jessievo.com and then /boost now. But I will send it to you right now.
Awesome. I also am putting it in the comments and we can get it to show up here. All right. So definitely, if you want to check out, I signed up because I believe that we all have so much to learn, and we can never get to the end of who we are. We can never get to, I believe, until we're like on the other side of this world, we're not going to get everything, all the knowledge, all the stuff. We're not going to know exactly who we are. So it's a continual journey and ongoing. It goes for our business too. So the more that we know ourselves, the more that we grow ourselves, the more that we're going to be able to share our message, and we're going to be able to help other people know and grow and be who they're created to be. So thanks for sharing that with us, Jessie. I'm going to leave that up there because I hope that other people will go take advantage of this opportunity. I mean, to have 5 days free with you, I mean, that's going to be a blast no matter what.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
Yes, I know. It's like, where's that music? Oh, I want the music now. It's already in my head. I can hear, like, you bring such a fun action. So, okay, last question now, and we just have a couple of minutes. But I had mentioned in my post earlier that, I wouldn't mind if you went ahead and picked on me a little bit. So if you could just go ahead and point out what are some of those things that, Renee, you're building a personal brand. You could really do this better, or this is something that you might consider for your future, or anything like that.
Well, I looked at it, and actually, as a personal brand, you're doing really well. And you're doing the contrary that most people are doing, weirdly. You're focusing and honing more on your personal brand than on your business side. I don't know if you notice it. Go look. And because you're talking more about comparison, about mindset, about you being a mom, which is okay. All of that is good. You need to continue to do that. But then I'm missing your expertise part, weirdly. So you're doing the whole 1 million people.
So this is why we need Jessie, is because she's not doing a one size fits all. She is looking at people individually and knowing that, I mean, yeah, there are things that we're going to deal with that might be kind of common, but there's always those uncommon denominators that,
It's because we're always in our own head and on our own things. So it's all of those things are important for you. So they're amazing to put out, but they're so important. And your business, you're always thinking about your business. So you think you're talking about your business, but you're not.
That's so true. Oh, so, I mean, that's like the best call out that you could ever say.
Oh, thank you.
So good. So true.
So that's the main thing. But on personal brand, you're doing good, woman.
All right. So y'all hear it right now. That's something I'm going to improve on and that I'm going to get better at, because why in the world would we hear something and feel like, oh, well, who cares? I mean, like, if you care about something, if you care about what you're doing, and if you're building a personal brand, there's a reason. It's not to boost yourself. It's actually because you believe in what it is that you have to offer. It's because you care about other people. So if I care about you, then what I need to do is actually show you what it is that I'm offering and show you the things that can help you, that I have in my platter, on my end of things. So just like we're sharing here with the 5-day turbo boost that hopefully you'll sign up for, you're going to hear me sharing more about my business side. I promise. And Jessie can hold me to it, personal brand coach. So thank you. That is definitely a breath of fresh air. We all need a truth teller and a helper and a coach in our life.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I want to end with one thing, because a lot of people are still resistant to all of that. But all the major enterprises, all of them, Procter and Gamble, banks, everything. If you look at it in the last few years, look at that, their marketing. They're marketing with their own people. That means a personal brand. Oh, those are the values. That is what we stand for. We are a family, or we blah, blah, blah. So even the big corporations jumped on a personal brand, and they're a corporation. So you as a business owner should, if they're doing it, you for sure should be doing it.
That is a good point. I hadn't even thought about it or realized it, but you're right. I see that more and more. In fact, I got something from Chipotle. Do you guys have Chipotle where you are? I never know.
No, but
Okay.
I love Chipotle because we don't have it, and I eat it once in a light year.
Yeah. Well, it's good. But I remember I think it was from Chipotle, and I got a receipt that said, so-and-so packed this bag or something like that. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I mean, I'll say part of me was like, I don't really care who packed the bag. I just want to make sure the food is good. And that, but at the same time, I noticed and I recognized like, I showed my family, this is branding. What they just did here is showing that they care about their employees and they care about their company, whether or not they do. I hope they do, but yeah, absolutely.
It's a little message that changes everything.
That's right. So, well, all right, everyone, we won't keep you because we want to save plenty of value that you're going to get when you hang out with Jessie. And when does that start? Tell us when you're...
March 20th, in 9 or 10 days, depending on where you are in the world, I think. So, yes. Well, I'm going to tell you exactly. In 9 days and 21 hours and 58 minutes. Truly, I have a timer on my website.
That is so good. Oh, well, where in the world I'll be, I'm actually going to be traveling in Spain. So I will hop on and out when I can. That's why I signed up. I'm like, okay, I know it's going to be a little touch and go, but I highly recommend that you check it out. And let us know down in the comments what you learned from Jessie. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. If you have any questions for me, happy as well. And we are going to jam out to some music because that's the way that we go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jessie. See you all.